The following is a production of Medfield TV, Community Shows.
Hello and thank you for joining us on a discussion with. Today I'm sitting down with a special guest, Irene Brousell. She is with IB Well and she is hosting a workshop, Wellness for Women. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, this is you called me up. I think we actually connected on Instagram, something like that. And I kind of started talking to you a little bit about what you guys are doing. And
Yep.
Can you tell me about this? The Be Well, the wellness workshop that you're doing?
Yes, actually, so it's a wellness workshop for women. Is a workshop that I put together is based on 3 pillars. It's an approach that considers good nutrition, exercise and fitness, and self-care. And anyone can benefit from it. There's no downside. Really, it's connecting with being the best version of yourself, the best, healthiest version of yourself. And ideally, we do this in small groups, 10 or 12 people, or one-on-one coaching.
Well, that's awesome. And now you have a background in HR, and
Right.
You're using that background to help and kind of put these groups together. Can you tell me about tell me about your background
How
and
that
what
ties
you did?
in.
Yeah.
So human resources, my focus was exclusively on coaching and counseling and training in performance, in employee relations, and careers. So I'm taking those skills and transferring them to something that I've been passionate about for my entire life, and that is living a healthy life. And so out of that grew an opportunity to turn this into a coaching business.
Do you consider yourself like a life coach, or what do you consider what you're
So
developing?
actually, if I had to put it in a category, I would say wellness coaching is sort of the terminology that kind of best describes it. Life coaching might be even more extensive because it might consider financial or marital relationships. But this one is focused on, as I said, nutrition, fitness and exercise, and self-care.
I know when we spoke over the phone setting up the interview and stuff, we talked about your want to get away from the apps, get away from that stuff, and actually sit down and have human conversations to talk about this. Can you tell me about that?
Absolutely. And that is, I think that is one of the differentiators of this group. So the purpose is for women to come together for support, encouragement, discussion, motivation, inspiration, maybe a little advice and humor, sharing. And I think doing that in a community setting, even if it's a small community, I think encourages accountability. So when you're going through this journey, and we're all on a journey and we're all a work in progress, you want support and you want to be able to share, particularly women. Women really love to share if they've had challenges, if they've had setbacks. So this is a place where we can have companionship and a place where we can learn from one another.
That's fantastic. And what is it that helps you develop this idea to come up with this concept?
So I've read, studied, and learned for probably most of my life. I'm a former dieter myself. I've probably lost and gained and gained and lost the same 20 pounds for, I can't tell you how many, until I finally connected the dots and figured out, it's not really about diet. There's so many gimmicks, there's so many, so much information overload is out there. And I think that really what it's about is what I finally figured out is it's about habits. It's about healthy habits. And a diet is something that, you go on and then you go off. And it's too restrictive. And you can't really live with that. You know, you want to live a life where you can go out to dinner, you can go to a party, you can be with your family on the holidays and eat what you want to eat, but, you know, have these habits that you have learned incrementally over time, and they become part of you. Like you brush your teeth, or you take a shower. You don't have to think about it, you just do it because you do it. It becomes part of you. And the same thing with good nutrition, making good choices. Once you have established these habits and they become, you know, day to day, you can then, you know, sort of go to a party and have the skills and strategies to make good choices.
It's such a wonderful idea because I think so many people do join these diets, whether, you know, there's 100 of them out right now, you know, and every summer I feel like there's a new fad diet that comes out and people jump on it, they see immediate success, and then you can't live on those diets forever.
Absolutely.
And I think, you know, everyone always says it, the holidays come around and that's when everyone drops off. And
absolutely. You go away on vacation, or it's the holidays, and it's like, oh, but the best, most valuable gift that you can give to yourself and to your family is to live a healthy life. And just make yourself a top priority, especially women. Women particularly put themselves last. The kids come first, the house, the husband, maybe they work outside the home and they have a job, a career. Everything is, you know, is making demands on their time. Make yourself a priority, because if you're not taking care of yourself, you really can't take care of others. And I think this is what women need to hear. They need to hear this message that it's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's really about, you know, putting yourself at the top priority.
And so if people are interested in your workshop and in getting involved, how do they reach out?
So the best way to reach out to me would be at ibroussell20@gmail.com. So that's ibroussell20@gmail.com. And then we can set up a time to talk, make sure that this is right for you, if timing is right, and you're kind of in a, you know, a point where you're ready to make a commitment, and then we can go from there.
And now the classes, are they going to be structured times? Like you're going to have a Monday class and a, you know, whatever it is? But
yes, I would like to ideally do one during the day for, say, stay-at-home moms, and then one in the evening if you're working and you just, you know, your only time available is in the evening. So we'd set one up for each of those times. And then I also would do one-on-one coaching, and that can be done face-to-face. We can set up a, you know, time to meet, or we can do it by phone or FaceTime or video chat. So there's a lot of ways that we can connect.
Now, one of the things that, as we've been talking about this, the way I understand it is this isn't a weight loss program. This isn't something that people are joining to just lose weight.
Exactly.
It's a whole wellness. It's a strategy, way to strategize your life. Can you tell me about how, you know, you talked about nutrition and working out and getting better, but how that structures into being a totally more wellness person?
So it's not going to be about weighing and measuring you. It's going to be about you connecting with what's best for you, what works for you. Willpower will only take you so far. And the lasting success is developing healthy habits, but you really, it's a skill and a strategy. And once you have that, you know, it starts to become part of your routine. You know, you're not like, well, I'm on a diet and then I'm going off a diet. So, and it's a, you know, it's about food. Enjoy your food. Not eating, you know, you know, restricting certain food groups, but find the most nourishing foods that you can, and a continuous improvement. I would say the program, that's kind of the backbone of the program, is continuous improvement. That's really, our whole lives are about continuously improving. And whether you do that with, you know, been sort of lax about working out, and you haven't made the best choices, and you've sort of been, not working on yourself, this is a way to kind of say, let me get back on track, let me relearn my strategies for how to do this.
It's funny, I think everyone takes it's like the athlete approach that you have to work out every single day.
Correct.
And you have to be so
Right.
structured with it. And as soon as you deviate from that, you're like, I failed and I messed up, and it becomes so
Absolutely.
overwhelming.
And it's not about failing. It's just life happens. I mean, it's okay if you missed a day working out. You're not gonna fall apart. Or if you had, you went out to dinner and you indulged in something, it's okay. So the thing to do, and this is a strategy that I would encourage, is have a compensation day and say, oh my gosh, I had a weekend that included a party and out to dinner, and then I missed going to the gym. Well, okay, so don't throw it out and quit. What you do is just say, okay, my next day or two is going to be a compensation day. But I hope that you enjoyed your weekend, and don't beat yourself up about it. Just be kind to yourself, really. Don't worry that you had that dessert, or you had that extra appetizer, or you had a couple of drinks. That's okay. I hope you enjoyed it. But now it's Monday morning, and it's time to compensate for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what are the other strategies that you'd be talking about, outside of the health and fitness side of it? Do you have strategies of how people can get organized and
Yes.
how people can strategize their working lives?
So, as I say, every day is a new opportunity to do a little bit better. Sometimes you're feeling overwhelmed, sometimes you're struggling, you're busy, and you feel like you need that support and that motivation and that encouragement. So I would say the key tips to get started would be, first, connect with your why. What's your reason? Why do you want this? Are you getting married soon? Did you just have a baby? Dig deep and figure it out. Think about it, and think about what improvements you can make for your personal health and wellness, and start keeping a journal. Keeping track keeps you honest. Second thing I would do is I would recommend that you visualize what is it that you want. Do you want to be svelte, and do you want to be fit? Do you want to fit into a certain size? What is it that you're wanting? And keep that image in your mind. And that is, where you want to be. And whatever, it takes you 6 months, or it takes you a year, or it takes you 6 weeks. Whatever it is, nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. So you're always kind of working towards that. So keep that, visualize what you want out of this. And then I would say start small. Don't try to eat the whole thing, the whole feast in one bite, because you're going to fail, and you're not going to feel good, and you're going to quit because, like for example, New Year's resolutions. Everybody wants to sign up for the gym, and they want to kill it. And so after 3 days or 3 weeks, they quit because they're not having fun. It's too painful. They're hurting themselves, they're not enjoying the workouts, and they're restricting their food so much to the point where they're unhappy, and they're moody, and they get depressed. So I would say start small and prioritize. Commit to 2 or 3 small things that you could do this week, whether it's cutting out sugary beverages, and maybe can you walk for 20 minutes. And I've heard many people say, oh, I simply don't have time. Well, what I would say to those people is the following. Take a look at your iPhone and go to where it says screen time, and look at typical 2.5 hours of scrolling. Time suck, right?
Absolutely.
And so I would say, you don't have time? Well, cut down on the mindless scrolling, and there you go. You have 20 minutes. You don't have to join a gym. You can do anything. You can do anything that you enjoy, but make sure that it's an activity that you actually do enjoy. Whatever it might be, whether it's as simple as walking, dancing, gardening, you like golf and tennis, you like a group thing, you like an individual thing, you like to hike, you like to, just as long as you will stay with it as long as you enjoy it.
I can't agree with you more. It's incredible. The difference between when people talk to, other people who work out all the time, they don't realize that there was a beginning, that those people who you look up to, those fitness gurus that you look up to, they work out all the time. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wakes up every day at 4 a.m. and goes for a run. You don't have to be that.
You don't have to be that.
You're right.
Listen to your body.
Absolutely.
And start small. And don't push too hard, because, you will not stay with it. You just, you're going to quit. And how many people are actually the ones who join as their New Year's resolution? How many of those people are still with it in February? The gym is empty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't even have to join a gym. If you think, I'm never going to get there, I don't like gyms, it doesn't have to be a gym. You can do something turn the TV on. There are tons of cable shows that are exercise. Turn on YouTube. There's thousands probably. And they're, you can find one that actually fits with something that you enjoy doing. So it's listen to your body, start small, and prioritize. If you say, okay, I'm going to come home and I'm going to clean out my pantry, I'm going to clean out the refrigerator, I'm going to get rid of all those foods that are offenders, that might not work, but give yourself, an achievable goal. If you say, I simply don't like to cook. Well, maybe you're looking at recipes that are just overly complicated. But I would encourage you, and I would encourage everyone, to let go of perfectionism. I would say we're all a work in progress, and look at it as a continuous improvement. So cooking at home, eating more meals at home is absolutely healthier, and it's more affordable. And maybe you just are not a great cook, but you can do a simple recipe, something that's not, doesn't include 25 ingredients, something that you can pull together quickly, but it's healthy. And then the next thing I would say is give it time. You didn't get sort of out of shape and, and overweight and away from your goals and healthy living. It didn't happen overnight. So give yourself time to really, change and enjoy the journey and stay with it.
What you're saying about the nutrition and the strategies that you're building, they also seem like they could be utilized in other parts of your life too.
Absolutely.
The journaling, the writing down, the small goals, the little beginnings. Those don't seem like they're nutrition and weight loss goals. Those seem like they're just everyday strategy things.
Absolutely. And how about, and we didn't touch on this, but I think it's worth mentioning, how about being a really good role model for your children? You're eating healthy, and as a result, they're around good foods. They're not, thinking of the restrictive diet mentality. You're just thinking about, let's enjoy fresh fruits and vegetables. Let's cook a meal together. Let's go for a hike. So you're modeling good behavior for your children. How wonderful is that a gift to give to your kids? I mean, there couldn't be better. Living a balanced life, being sensible, it is common sense, but you have to really think about it. Think about what you're doing and be consistent.
How do you visualize, because obviously if this is a one-on-one discussion, I totally can visualize that. In the group setting, how do you visualize the conversations going? How will that work?
Well, I would start off with, how was everyone's week? did you have any challenges? Did you have any, victories? And did you feel good? Can you share tips about that? But I would start off with how was everyone's week and checking in with everyone, and encourage people to kind of talk about what challenges, and then ask the group to offer some tips on what may have worked for them. And then I would also have a theme for each time that we got together. It would be something that is relevant and something that they can learn from in a workshop kind of environment. So talking about, for example, eating real whole food and not eating processed foods. Shop around the circumference of the supermarket. So, well, my kids like such and sugary cereals. Well, can you look for products that are less sugary and less, maybe they're fresher ingredients, and start making those changes, implementing those changes gradually. Savoring your food and really enjoying it. Let's talk about that. So there would be different themes that we would discuss each time that we got together.
That's fantastic. And it'd be like a guided conversation. You're building a small community of support, of different strategies. And obviously with your expertise in HR and your, would you say 30 years experience?
Yes.
Having that.
I started when I was, about 10.
But so, having that experience in the room, being able to have that conversation, different strategies, that must be a wonderful way to help people.
You know what? This may sound like a cliche, but I love people, and I believe in people. And I believe that we all have the ability to live our best lives and to live our healthiest lives. We can always make good choices, whether you're traveling, you're on the road, whether you're at a party, whether you're going to an all-you-can-eat buffet. You can always make good choices. Slow down, enjoy your food, enjoy your life, savor it. And there's always a way to choose either the high road, the low road, or somewhere in the middle.
One of the last things I did want to talk to you about, I thought it was really interesting as we started discussing it. You're a brand new entrepreneur. You're getting out there. You're getting your business out there. What's that venture been like for you? And how awesome is it to kind of be experiencing a new challenge for yourself and also be able to talk to other people about their brand new challenges they're taking on?
My entire career has been about people, recruiting people, coaching people, training people. And I love to see the growth, and it's been fantastic to combine my passion, my lifelong passion. Believe it or not, since college, I started dieting and learning about food and making good choices and working out and doing some things that were not the healthiest, but
that's okay, right?
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah,
right?
it's right,
That's great.
because we keep our whys close by, W-H-Y. We keep that close by. What is it that we want to achieve? So starting a business can be a little scary, but you do have to take the first step. And you may not see the whole journey. You be traveling for hundreds of miles. You can only see a few hundred feet in front of you. So, and I have always been very much of a figure it out as you go along kind of thing, which by that I mean constantly learning and constantly growing and constantly evolving. So, what works now is, putting this content in place and getting the information out to the right people. I also, am constantly learning myself what is the latest thinking on, say, good nutrition or exercise or self-care, which, self-care is, it's a huge topic. You can talk about that endlessly. It's about self-esteem. It's about, it goes beyond, oh, I got a manicure and I'm going to go take a bubble bath. It's really much more than that. So it's evolving for me, but I feel like I really take great pleasure in seeing people grow and reaching their goals and getting the results that they are working towards. So like an entrepreneur, I'm doing everything. I'm juggling constantly, marketing, business development, content development, but I'm enjoying every minute of it.
And you have 3 kids.
Yes.
Here in town. They grew up through
Yes.
Medfield.
So we've been in Medfield for 30 years. This past summer was 30 years. This has been a fantastic community and a wonderful place to raise our children. I have a son and 2 daughters. They're all recently married. And
within 9 months of each other.
Yes.
That was the craziest
3
part I've
weddings
ever heard.
within 9 months. And I didn't sleep that well during that period of time. It was just, it was like constantly just, having to do. But they were wonderful and did a lot of the planning themselves, which was fantastic. And you know what? This is what you want for your kids. How great is that? So, you can take the view that, oh my God, this is so stressful, or you can say, you know what? This is really what I want for my children. They're happy, they're healthy, they're living their best lives. How wonderful is that?
Which I tell you what, if you can
yeah.
start a business, host 3 weddings, and do it all, that's great. Who else do you want advice
Make
from?
it easy. Make it look easy
Yeah.
from the outside. But so, I'm very blessed, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful for everything that I've, had and that I've had the opportunity. It's important to identify a need in the community and then find that, I have this interest and this passion that could benefit so many people. So that's kind of where I, kind of connected those dots myself.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Irene, it's been a pleasure sitting down with you today.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Can't wait to hear more and more about your success.
Yes.
This has been great.
Would love to, I can talk about this, forever. It's an exciting topic, and there is no downside to it. Everyone can benefit, regardless of where you are on your journey.
And if you want to say it one more time, you have a website and ways for people to contact you.
So the website is actually it's in progress now. The brand is IB Well, the initials IB Well, and it's a wellness workshop for women.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And,
any questions, feel free to reach out to me by phone or by email. I can repeat the email address one last time. It's ibrousell20@gmail.com.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so thank you everyone so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed a discussion with Irene Brousell. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The proceeding was a production of Medfield TV, Community Shows.